Hi everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Masochist Insane Scenario. So I kind of accidentally left this running for about an hour and a half, and because I was at 3x speed, that's about 4.5 hours of in-game time. Let's see how many levels I got. A lot. Okay, that's enough for this though. I'm gonna keep all the trade stations because I'll probably need them, if I'm being honest. And like I said, in this episode we are going to take a look at some of the more complicated crystal tasks. I'm not sure which ones I'll do, so let me just take a quick look at them. This one looks pretty standard. This one also looks relatively easy. This one seems kind of interesting. This one seems pretty cool. This one is boring. And we are legally required to do this one. I'm gonna do all the tasks that require achievements. I know it's this one, I believe this one, or maybe it was this one, I don't know. And there was one more task called something with alien. This one. Since this one is just a generic shape, I'm just going to plug it into an MAM so I don't have to make it. Unfortunately, most of the good space has been taken up by my trade station, so I can't build in here anymore. So here's the MAM that I'm using. You might remember this from a previous episode. Alright, so I just spent the last 50 minutes plugging everything into my MAM. That was a lot more effort than I thought. Also, don't question what I did with the paint. Now I have to plug in the shape code. There's the first step of this alien shape. Once it's done, I'll come back and plug in the rest. And I also put it right next to the vortex so that I don't have to wait so long for the shape to be finished up here and then get shipped all the way down here. Alright, so let me pin this real quick and hopefully that should start working. As for which task I'm going to do first, I really don't know. I'm considering doing this one, break it till you make it. Just need a 3/4 magenta crystal. In order to make that, we need to do some very funny shenanigans, so let's start out. Here I have a mold shape and some magenta. I'm going to cut the molding shape in half because we can't make a 3/4 magenta crystal. What we have to do is make 1/2 of the crystal and then 1/2 of it and then swap it together. But obviously 1/2 is only a quarter, so you'll see what I mean. It's hard to explain. So if there's a half shape, let me plug in the crystallizer. Here we get half a magenta crystal. If I also get a crystallizer over here, that's not quite right. I forgot. I have made a big mistake in judgment, and that is I need a 3/4 molding shape in order to get 1/4 crystal. And I don't have the right amount of shapes over here. So I have an idea. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's try it though. The solution is to use a bow tie maker. See, here I have 1/4 crystals. And since I only need one of them, I can just half destroy some of them. Like so. Those are 2 crystal halves. And I was so slow in making that this is almost done. Oh well, to get some swappers. There's the first task. I'm gonna go claim this and plug in the next shape. Alrighty, now that that's going in, should be done really soon because it's only 90k. You know, I'm kind of tempted to just do all of these crystal tasks. I mean, why not, you know? Well, it's done. I was just taking a look at this one. And now we have to make a hanging crystal. So we have to make the shape into quarters, so let me just rework most of this. All of the corners except the top left one are going to be really easy. This is for the actual diamonds that we need. 4 space belts of diamonds over here. Grab some yellow. Alright, yellow, magenta, diamonds. I'm sure there's a very optimal way to make this without using a lot of paint. I'm not sure what it is though. These are the diamond quarters that I'll use for the middle layer of the shape. But now how do I get the molding shapes for all these quarters? Namely, these 3. I have an idea. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. The next step of the alien is done. Let me paste the next one in. Technically, I could get an MAM that handles all these crystal tasks, but that would be... I don't know. Maybe I could. So what I've done here is I've gotten 4 space belts of these molding shapes. So I'm going to take these diamond molds and maybe crystallize them. I'm going to paste in my magenta paint in here. And now we have this. Now I'm going to try to cut out those diamond parts. I'm not sure how hard that's going to be. because I want to recycle these parts. So here's the unbelievably janky blueprint I built to separate some quarters, or at least the bow tie. See, here's the magenta bow tie and the diamond bow tie. Magenta bow tie here, diamond bow tie here. I realize they are the wrong orientation from what they started with. See here, it's at the top right and bottom left, and here it's at the top left and bottom right, so I should have thought about that. Anyway, that's done. Let me plug in the next one. I'm not sure if this is even worth it. Also, I forgot overflow protection, so let me add that real quick. Alright, overflow protection has been added. All that effort for this. Was it worth it? Probably not. You know, I should probably save this before I lose it. Bow tie separator. Now, what am I going to do with that? I really do not know. I guess I can just stack it on top of the crystal because that's what it looks like in the final shape. I'm going to use my 12 belt stacker after this long. Also, I have to rotate them first. I have to rotate the crystals first, so let me do this. And if I plug in the crystals into the stackers, I should get the right output. Nope. It's because I'm dropping the crystals. Right. Okay, ignore that. This should work. Yes, it does. Except now I have to cut them into quarters because I can't swap a bow tie with a quarter of a shape. Oh, and I forgot about the yellow crystal. Man, I did not think this through at all. Okay, what I'm going to do now is get a mold bow tie in there, so I can crystallize on top of that diamond with yellow. I have 3 space belts of mold already right there. And if you take a look, it looks a bit strange, but that is correct. You see how there's gaps here and here that I can crystallize with yellow. I guess I'll use my 12 belt crystallizer again because there's a lot of gaps. Plug them in like this. There we go. Now I can actually reuse this blueprint to separate the mold shapes. Okay, now what? I'm lost again. In all that time, this is done again. Man, this is slow as hell. Maybe instead of trying to make this super optimal and trying to save resources, I should just waste resources. Now I have to make the top left quarter, which I don't know how I'm gonna do. Well, I do have some more molding shapes right here I could use. And I have the molding shapes from over here. So I'm going to cut this mold shape into quarters. I'm going to take a 1 space belt, pin it, and rotate it counterclockwise. Now if I stack this mold shape that I'm recycling, now that bottom and the top one will get... Oh my god, that's not how you make a mold shape at all. Alright, here's a very janky idea I just thought of. Oh, there's the achievement done. What if I put a bow tie maker on a bow tie shape? I get... Well, that didn't work. How about I rotate it first? Still no. Okay, guess I have to make an unbow tie maker. Extremely janky solutions. Okay, here's the unbow tie maker. You input a bow tie, it unbow ties it, and makes a half shape. This one is pin pushed twice, this one is pin pushed once. That's not quite right. I thought I pin pushed this twice. No, I rotated it twice. Okay, there. That won't work either. I only need 1 pin over here. And then I stack a missing quarter on it. There. And then I stack my recycled mold on it. There we go. It took that much effort to get the right scaffolding shape. Alright, crystallizer. There we go. Finally. Now I could recycle and use the scaffolding shape or mold shape again. That sounds like a lot of effort. And considering how long it took to just get this, when I should have been done like 30 minutes ago. It's fine, now I know to not overcomplicate things. I'm gonna do it again though. Alright, I now have 3/4 of the shape. Now I need 1/4 of a crystal, which I know exactly how I'm gonna do that. Over here is another space belt of diamond that I had. Yeah, I guess this one's just sitting here. It's fine though. Here's my blueprint to punch out a quarter. And then I can crystallize it. There we go. And I just realized this is in fact not useless because I can stack this space belt on top of that magenta crystal. for the bottom right quarter. See, it worked out in the end. I'm gonna send it over right now, actually. Please. Oh, look at that. That's correct. Bottom right quarter. Finally done. And here's all the quarters, kind of. These are all the quarters. Oh, the alien's done. Great. I guess while I'm here, I could plug in other shapes like this one. Okay, here's my swapper blueprint. Swapping the bottom right and the bottom left quarters. Apparently that's wrong. Okay, that's better. I just had to reverse the inputs, but yes, that's the bottom half of the shape. I realized this is in fact the top half of the shape, not the bottom half. Bottom left half, and I forgot which one this is, bottom right. And there we go, swap together. There's the bottom half of the shape. I can grab another swappers, and then plug all these in. Please be correct. Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, if you want to make this shape, just don't do what I did. By the way, I haven't tested for efficiency at all, so there's a very good chance this is like gonna run at 1/4 efficiency. And the best part is, it took me that long to make it, and for the next shape I have to completely rework it. Because you cannot make that after doing what I just did. The reason I wanted to be so conservative was because I'm running out of mold shapes. I'm gonna sit here in the void. Why are you not capping at 3x? Do I really have that much stuff running at once? You know, I bet the MAM is using a lot of processing power. Select this and then start the next one. And how is this shape doing? I don't think... Did I forget to stop again? I did. Okay, man. Let's take a look at the efficiency. It's max. No way. I'm honestly amazed. Oh, I was just watching that. Apparently it got delivered in one. Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, time to do the fun part of deleting all of it. Okay, we're back at square one. Never mind. Now we're back at square one. I'm gonna make the bottom left and the top right at the same time because they are identical and they're honestly not that bad. Just need a 5-layer tall mold. Why is the prediction not moving from there? Oh my, I hate it when this happens. There is a 2-layer tall mold. And that should be a 4-layer tall mold. Unfortunately, the prediction is broken again because it just likes to do that apparently. And here is a 5-layer tall mold. Okay, I just realized I can't actually build that all at once because I have to crystallize it with magenta, and then yellow, and then green. This is just so fun. Alright, first let me grab my crystallizer for magenta. Then I need an actual diamond. I'll drop this on top. Well, I guess that's the mold now. Instead of turning this into bow ties, I just stack it, because it's going to need to be a mold and part of the shape anyway. Please, prediction. There we go. See, mold and part of the shape. Stack another mold. Now I can crystallize that with yellow. Never mind, that's the wrong orientation. Oh yes, now I can crystallize that with yellow. And now I need a white circle. I'm pretty sure I have a convenient circle. Yeah, right here. Look at that. There's another one right here. Painter can go right there. I need white. There's a white circle. These are 2 full space belts of this white bow tie. This one can go on top of the shape. And then I need 2 more mold pieces. They're both right here. Look at that. Please be correct. Look at that. I now need green paint. I'm just gonna send it through everything because I don't care anymore at this point. Cool. That's the easy part. I swear I had a blueprint to just delete the molding shapes. I guess I'll have to make it again. Alright, I don't know how many times I made this blueprint, but now I'm gonna save it. Mold deleter. Sounds pretty good. And oh man, that took forever to make. This is a very long factory. So for this bottom right quarter, what we have to do is make a 1-layer mold, crystallize a magenta, then get another mold, then a part where it can cut, and you have to crystallize this part green. So I have to punch out 1/4 from this, then I can crystallize this magenta. Now I have to drop a full shape mold on top of that. I don't know where I'm going to get this from. You know, what if I use the exotics as molds? That'd be pretty funny. Now what I have to do is get a half mold. I'm going to stack 1/2 on top of this, then the full shape, and then the other half. And here I have this shape. These empty spaces will get crystallized green. And then I can cut out the left half, giving me this gap and a crystal up here. See, now there's green crystals there. Oh, I'm so stupid, am I? Okay, wait, let me turn this into a bow tie. Apparently, if I put this half shape, I get a full circle in return. That's great. So previously, this quarter was green, and when I cut out the left half, it would have destroyed this quarter, which I actually needed to keep. So now there's an actual shape here so that once I cut out the left half, this crystal will stay and this one will break. I'm also finally saving this blueprint. Okay, well that's the bottom right quarter, I hope. Nope, I put a circle instead of a diamond. That was very smart of me. I can just replace these, I think. No, that's a diamond up there. Great. This one has to be a diamond. That is better. There's an actual diamond where it has to go. And now the top left quarter is a little bit more complicated. Well, not really. Should still be not too hard. First, I'm gonna need a lot more molding shapes, and again, I'm running low on those. I'm making more progress on regular tasks than the actual tasks that I'm making. The thing with this task and some of the other crystal tasks is that you have to spend so much time making one part of the shape and then completely removing all of that, reworking it, and then doing something completely different. And you have to do that at least 5 times. For example, you have to go through all the effort of making this, then tearing it down and then making this, then tearing that down and making this, then tearing that down and making this, and then finally tear that down to make this. It's a lot of effort. That being said, I do want to get at least 3 tasks done this episode. This one, which I'm already doing, maybe this one, definitely this one. If not this one, then I might do number 29 here, or number 28. First, I once again have to punch out a quarter. Then I stack a full diamond. I did it completely wrong. Okay, in order to make this shape, what you have to do is get a half mold back there, a full one, and then a half one so you can crystallize this yellow. Once you crystallize the yellow, you can cut it and then get this yellow one floating, kind of. I can do this exact same setup. There's a half and there's a bow tie. I actually need a full diamond, so I'm gonna bring that, stack the bow tie on top. This is the exact same setup we did on the previous shape, or the previous quarter rather. Now when I cut it in half, this yellow quarter will get destroyed, leaving this yellow one to hang. Also, I realized this quarter is in fact not correct, because that circle quarter needs to be the white circle right here. Okay, here's the white quarter. And if I stack it where that other circle was, I doubt it's gonna work. Yeah, no. So what I'll do is punch out a quarter from this circle and then stack this white one on top of it. And like that, it's basically the same shape just with a white quarter. And that is correct. I hope. Here's the other white quarter that I have to stack with one of these random mold shapes. So punch out a quarter and stack. There's a mold shape with the white circle in it. And right there's the last molding shape. That's the wrong orientation. Now once I crystallize this green, I can cut out the left half and I'll get the quarter that I need. Crystallizer, green, look at that. Half destroyed the left half, and in theory, this should be the top left quarter. Yes, it is. So here's the top left quarter, oh, lag spike, top right quarter, bottom left quarter, and bottom right quarter. Swap those 2 quarters together, there's the bottom half. Swap those 2 halves together, there's the top quarter. There. And if I swap those 2 halves together, I get the full shape. Nope. Let me try that again. If I swap these 2 halves together, I'll get the final shape. Yes. All of that effort to get the shape done, and I'm pretty sure this task has been going on the whole time. Yeah, it kind of goes to show you how much effort and time it takes to make just one step of the task. I'm gonna plug in this shape because it looks funny. Anyway, I'm gonna build a train and then wait for it to be finished in 2 minutes. That MAM is using a lot of processing power. Coming back to check on it, it hasn't been shipped yet, but look, max efficiency. Oh, apparently there's conflicts, that's why there's never been a package going out. Huh. Hey, this is done before even one of those went in. You know, as much as I love this MAM, it uses so much processing power, I can't speed up at 3x anymore. Alright, I'm back. Looks like that's done. I was waiting for about 2 minutes, and it took me like 30 minutes to build all that. Yeah. Goodbye. I'm noticing for this shape, one of the halves is just identical. And so what I can do is make that half, pin push it, and then swap it together with this. So the only quarter that will take some effort to make is this one, the bottom right quarter, because there's a gap below a crystal and there's a pin. I think I'm gonna make that half first because it seems easiest. Shape prediction, stop trolling me. Please, prediction, move. Why can you move back but not forward? Alright, so ignore the fact that the predictions aren't working, but here I have a full shape and a half shape. Use your imagination, but right now there's a half shape stacked on top of that, so I can crystallize it with, I believe it's yellow first. Once again, use your imagination, that half is now filled in with yellow crystals. And then I stack a full shape on top of that, and there's a full shape on top of it now. I'll get another crystallizer. This time it has to be green. Actually, before that, I need the other half of this. Okay, that should be one half. This prediction still has not moved, and I do not know why. Oh, there it goes. Well, okay, that didn't solve anything, did it? Okay, the prediction finally started showing up. You can see, yes, that is the one half of the shape without the pins. I'm going to take this shape and rotate it 180. Half destroy it, and then pin push it, and then rotate it like that. That's the top half of the shape. But I'm not going to rotate it yet because I actually have to swap it. Plug this one in next. Bottom left half is also really easy. It's just mold shape, crystal, mold shape, crystal, mold shape, crystal. And I have a good idea for how I'm going to save some shapes. Not like I really need to, but you know. So I'm going to take my diamond and bring it out over here. And I'm going to get a blueprint that separates 1/4, not destroys it, it needs to be separated. Here's the blueprint. I don't care about space optimization anymore. Can't fit this on a 1x2, so I have to use a 2x2, which means I have a lot of extra space, so I'm just going to use it. Don't forget overflow protection. It has been overflow protected. Copy it onto the 3 layers. There you go. I bet I broke it all, didn't I? Yep. Fantastic. Alright, there's the blueprint to separate 1/4, and I'm actually going to save it now. 1/4 separator. I have no idea how you spell separate, by the way, so that'll have to do. So here's the reason I needed that. I'm going to crystallize this with magenta. So now I have the magenta quarter. Then I'll stack this quarter that I separated. That diamond actually has to be there in the final shape, right there. Then I can do this exact same thing on another mold shape. Right here looks like a good spot. I've got circles right here. What I'm going to do now is pin push these 3/4 shapes. Now I'm going to stack this pin shape on top of this one. As you can see now, I can crystallize this with yellow and that will get filled in, as well as all of that, but I don't care about that because it's just going to get destroyed anyway at the end. So crystallizer and yellow. There's 3 layers of it. I stack this quarter that I separated earlier, and I'm going to do this one more time. Over here, because why not? Stack this mold shape on top. Also, this has been done. I should probably just plug in the next one. Okay, and then I crystallize it green. You know, for this one, I don't have to cut out the quarter, so I'm just going to punch out 1/4 from it. I still have to pin push it though, and if I plug this in, it should just be the same. Not quite. It's rotated the wrong way. That's more like it. Crystallizer. Green. My game is so laggy, but that is the bottom left quarter, and it took so long to make that for some reason. Now for the bottom right quarter, I just need a simple scaffolding shape so I can crystallize that green, break it, and then pin push it at the end. Grab some diamonds. Cut it in half. One of the halves will be used for the actual scaffolding, the other one will be used for a bow tie later. Kind of like what I did in a previous step somewhere that I deleted. Need to stack a full shape on top of that one. Need a 3/4 mold right there. Here's the shape with the quarter punched out. Crystallizer green. You know, that's probably still wrong. Yeah, it is, because the shape below the green crystal has to be a white circle. Forgot about that again. Here's 1/4 punched out of that. And I just realized I don't think these other shapes have white circles in them. No, they don't. Well, I'm very silly. I kept thinking that was the right part, but it's not because there's just no white circle. Speaking of, where even is the white circle? Did I delete it? It looks like it's gone. Fantastic. Looks like I have to make it again. I also used the circle that was used for the white circle, so I have to pull another one. Alright, the white circle's back. I need to cut it in half. This has to go replace one of the shapes that was used over here. I'm not sure which one though. The one below the green crystal. In other words, this one. Okay, oh, that's not quite right still. Over here? It's probably still not gonna work. Nope. You know, I have a circle here. Why don't I just paint this one white? Yeah, that seems like a much better idea. Those circles go in there. Where's my white paint? Over here. Spaghettify it. Plug that in there. And I can move this and use it for other things. But I'm probably not going to. Okay, hopefully that is correct. I'm sure it is. So if I cut this into quarters twice, this can get stacked with this shape. Well, that's done. Last shape. That's mostly right. Okay, here's the molding shape. Crystallize it green so I can break it and then get a gap there. Like so. Use my new half destroyer platform if I can find it. Here it is. Still not right. I forgot about the bottommost layer, which was the diamond. How could I have forgotten? Alright, here's my solution. I can stack all of that on top of a full diamond. Yes, and now there's a diamond there. Then crystallize with green. Then half destroy. That is the bottom right quarter, right before I pin push it, almost forgot. And that is the final shape. Well, the final quarter rather. Oh yeah, I forgot I needed a white quarter over here. Guess that's what I need these for. Good thing I planned ahead. As to where it goes, I have no idea. Probably has to go over here. Time to send it on an adventure. Oh, it's clouding something. What a fun adventure it's going on. And plug it right there. There are the contents, and... why is it over there exactly? Alright, bottom left quarter for real this time. Rotate, half destroy, rotate, half destroy. And there we go. Bottom left quarter. I need to swap bottom left quarter with bottom right quarter over here. That's the bottom half of the shape. Put that on the left and then swap it with the right half of the shape. Look at that, it's done. You know how long that took? Very long. These shapes aren't even that difficult to make, they just take forever. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit once that's done. Alright, I'm back. I was looking at the footage from my previous recordings and man, my fan clicking is so noticeable. I thought it wouldn't be a big problem, but it was. So I professionally solved that problem by turning off the fan. And that's a problem in its own because it's very hot where I am. Earlier today was 95 degrees Celsius. So yeah, I might die of heat stroke in this recording, but at least these are done. And I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. See, instead of just plugging in random tasks and then getting barely any research credits, or basically nothing out of them, what I should be doing is plugging in the random operator shapes. Let me grab the operator shape receiver if I can find it. Here it is. Plug that in. And that's number 0, which is, I believe, this one. Yes, that is the operator shape. So now I'm actually going to get more levels from this and more research credits and a higher operator level. I don't know why I didn't do this from the beginning. Better late than never, as they say. It looks like all that's changed is I believe that quarter is now missing. Yeah, here it's yellow and over here it's empty. So I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm not sure where that's going to happen though. Alright, I'm making one half of the shape over here, so that's not very easy, isn't it? Alright, I guess I'm reworking all of this. Alright, so I have cut out that back half, which means I have to make the top right quarter and the top left quarter. The top right quarter requires a diamond, a crystal, the white circle, and a green crystal. Actually, you know what? Over here I'm making the bottom right quarter, and now it's the same as the top left quarter. So I just have to make the top right one now. So I've got a full shape with a bow tie on it. I can crystallize it yellow. Ignore that crash if you heard it. Crystallizer with yellow. There's a yellow crystal quarter. White circle. Okay, I don't know why the prediction's gone, but that's the white quarter. There's just no prediction, and I don't know why. Okay, look, there's a prediction right there. There's a prediction there. There's a prediction there. Anyway, plug in another bow tie so I can crystallize it green. Prediction, where is the prediction? Alright, it's gonna take a while to show up, so let's just use our imagination. I need to keep the bottom right quarter, so let me destroy the left half. Rotate it counterclockwise. Destroy it. Rotate it 90 clockwise. And then of course, pin push it. Also, it looks like I messed up. Really nice. Okay, finally a few of the shapes showed up. That is the bottom right quarter. Still no prediction, so I guess that's just gonna be a recurring theme. Now what I can do is copy paste this quarter, which of course there's no prediction. Now I have to figure out what goes where. Looks like I'm just trashing half of those, so instead of trashing them, I can put them in here. Looks like here we need a 3/4 mold with the white quarter circle. There's a white quarter circle from previously, so I'm gonna reuse that. Unfortunately, this is the only full shape I have. I need one more, so let me grab one. How about these stars? That's a good route. I have to punch out a quarter and then stack the white circles onto it. There it is. Oh, I forgot where I plug it in. I think it was in here. Then I need another full shape with a quarter punched out, so I guess I'm grabbing another one. Stars there, punch out a quarter. These have to go down here. And then on this belt it has to be a full shape, which is over here. Thank you, autosave. Full shape and then green, which I accidentally broke over here. By the way, is there still a prediction here? Nope, of course not. I'm definitely going to run out of green by doing that. Oh, the prediction is here. There's a prediction here, but not here, even though there should be because nothing is broken. They should be receiving all the shapes like it has been. There's nothing missing. I don't believe I broke anything. It looks like it's broken at these white circles. I figured this out before. There's no prediction here, but there's a prediction for these circles and for this white paint. Oh. Well, who knows how many circles were infected. Well, that's very embarrassing. Okay, we are never going to talk about that. Anyway, here's the top left quarter, bottom right quarter, bottom left quarter, and the other quarter, bottom right. Wait a second, this should be the top right. Wait. No, that's the top left. Wait. No, that's the top right. Okay, I'm confused. Whatever, time to swap these two and these two. How did this break? There was a prediction earlier. Because I disconnected a green somehow. Oh, and I disconnected a yellow somehow. I also disconnected that shape. I don't know what it is. How did this happen? There was a prediction earlier. I swear there was. I'm gonna plug in this shape because it looks like it has to go there. That's my only basis. Oh, hey, it's back. That's not right at all. So then I have no idea what does go here. You know, it might have been the white circle. Do I have to make more white circles? I hope not. This is awful, not gonna lie. A full white circle does not belong in there. Does it have to be a quarter circle? Looks like it does. Looks like it has to be the bottom left quarter white circle, so... Alright, I've got an idea. I'm gonna pull it from right here. This task has taken me so long, I just want to be done with it. Right there. No. Please, what did I do wrong now? Because I broke a green pipe somehow. Alright. Finally, it's back. That took forever. Alright, that prediction was there before, and then I plugged it in, and then the prediction disappeared. I don't know how that happened. There is the bottom half of the shape. There's the top half of the shape. As always, swap those two halves together. Please. How is it wrong? Because I didn't rotate these. Typical. Alright, surely. Still no. Left half. Right half. What? Okay. Counterclockwise, that's going on the left half. Going into the left input. Clockwise. No, it has to be counterclockwise. Huh. Okay, counterclockwise, now it's on the right. Plug into the right input. And finally, it's done. In the time it took to make this, I have completed 13 levels of this random operator shape. Yeah, this is taking a while, huh? But hey, at least this one's done and I'll get the achievement. Okay, seeing as it took that long to make that shape, I know I've said that plenty of times, but yes, these take forever. I think I'll just do one more task this episode. This one looks pretty cool. But then again, I have to rework it. Oh hey, got the achievement. Alright, it's done. And in that time, I have made up my mind. I am not going to do these crystal tasks. Because, once again, this took 3 hours, probably more. That's going to take another 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours just for these 4 tasks. I'm going to go ahead and do this one to get the achievement and then call it for this episode. I apologize if that's a little disappointing, but I don't want to spend the next 12 hours doing these tasks that serve no purpose. Goodbye. Alright, let's take a look. We got a lot going on. So of course we'll take a look at it in quarters. This quarter we got a white crystal, 2 green circles, a floating magenta crystal. In this quarter we just got a white crystal and a magenta crystal. That seems like the easiest one. In this quarter we got a white crystal, 2 more green circles, and a magenta crystal. And here we got a pinned green crystal with that scaffolding shape, a yellow circle, 2 pins, and that is holding this magenta crystal in place. So I'm going to make the bottom left quarter first, and then maybe the top left. I have to make sure to hold the bottom left on the right half so that I can actually swap this place in later. Alright, so first I'm going to need a 3/4 mold for that white crystal. Oh, not this again. Whatever, now the hole's on the bottom left, and then let me grab my white paint. It's right over here. Crystallizer, white paint. Now I need some green quarter circles, and I've got circles over here and green over here. Guess I'm making it over here now. Like over here as well. Are you serious? It's literally connected. Just move the prediction up. Alright, well I have to cut this into quarters anyway. Here's 4 space belts of the green quarters. And in fact, I have to stack 2 of them for the bottom left quarter, you see here. Well, now the prediction is moved, but it's still not over here where it needs to be. Oh, there it is. Hey, there it is. 180 rotate it. I have to stack this on top of all that. Oh, I'm very silly, I realized. I can't actually stack these right now. And you know what, since these are closer, I'm just going to stack these ones because it's going to save a lot of space. 180 rotator. Then have to get a molding shape, 2 layers of it actually. Same thing I did with these diamonds. 1/4 punched out again. Plug that in. Then I need a half mold and a 3/4 mold. A half mold again so I can break the crystal. These have to be on the left half. Now I need a full shape to stack on top of this. Here's the full shape. Then I need a 3/4 shape or a bow tie like that. I'm going to use the bow tie again because I have some shapes waiting for me right here. Here I have some bow ties, stackers. Here's the molding shape. I can crystallize this with magenta. There'll be crystal up here and down here so that once I break that half, it will hang up there. Then once I swap it with the top left quarter, this shape will fall. That's right. I forgot. This should not be a full shape. This should be 1/4 punched out and then drop a cyan, or that's not cyan, that's a green circle on it. 1/4 cutter in the middle of everything because that's how we do things around here. Stacker goes right there, I guess. Okay, there's the full shape kind of that has the green circle in it so that I can fall. Now if you take a look, yes, that is correct. Once this green circle falls, it will go down there and then there'll be a magenta hanging crystal. Space belt crystallizer. Get magenta all the way down here. You think I can get it through all of this? I'm sure I can. We gotta try. Okay, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna send it to the side. I could need a lot of this anyway. It's good if it's not cramped so much. And watch what happens when you destroy that top half. Counterclockwise. Half destroy. Clockwise. That's a 180 rotator. There we go. That shape is being held by all this. Once it gets swapped out, then that shape will fall. Alright, there's the space belt of the bottom left quarter. Now I should do the top left one next. I need a green crystal pin pushed and then that dropped on top of it. Here I have a full shape. I'm going to punch out a quarter again. Get some green crystal painting things. I can't talk anymore. right there, and ooh, lag spike right there. Then I need a yellow circle quarter. Here's a circle. Here's yellow. Here's a yellow circle. Pin push. And I can cut this into quarters, like so. Wait, I need to pin push it again, I forgot. There's a full space belt of that, and I guess those three outputs can just do whatever they want. Stack that on top. Wrong one. There we go. Now I can half destroy, rotate, half destroy, rotate, pin push, and that's the top left quarter. I'm kind of tempted to swap these two now just so I can see if it works. Probably will do that. I'm going to swap those two. They're rotated so that this is on the left, that's on the right. As you can see, there's one quarter, there's the other quarter. And now if I rotate this there and then destroy it, that crystal is now floating, being held by that. Perfect. The next two quarters are significantly easier. I've got an idea for this bottom right quarter right here. I'm going to take a full shape, cut it into half, and then turn it into bow ties. Now I can crystallize this magenta and stack this on top and then crystallize it white. Look, convenient magenta right here. Alright, stack the other bow tie on top. And then crystallize it again. Wait, this has to be white, not magenta. Whoopsies. This one has to be magenta. Where's my white? Here it is. Let's take a look. Nice. And then I use my bow tie separator blueprint that I saved a while ago. I'm going to trash these bow ties. And I realized I am now making twice the amount of crystals that I need. As you can see, that is a full space belt of the bottom right quarter, so all of that was kind of overkill. Well, I guess I don't need those two then. Well, it's fine. There's the bottom right quarter. For the top right one, I think I'm going to do the exact same thing because why the hell not? Or you know what, that's kind of pointless. I have two full shapes here anyway, I'm just going to use them. Punch out one quarter from those diamonds, crystallize it white, then punch out a quarter from these, and I'm going to do something interesting here. Take my pin pushing platform, use it twice, and then stack it. Here's what that looks like. Then I'm going to take these circle quarters and stack them right here. Send it there. And now once I crystallize in magenta, that will get filled in, and I guess all that empty space too, but like, who cares about that? So magenta crystallizer. And there you go. There's the other quarter, the top right one. Half destroy, rotate, half destroy. Got another achievement for reaching level 25, it looks like. Anyway, there's all the quarters. Top right one right there. The bottom right one is right below it. And I already made the other half right here. So let's swap them together and see what happens. Oop, this is rotated wrong. There's one half. And here's the other half of the shape. And I'm going to plug them in. This is the left half, so it goes in the left input. This is the right half, so it goes in the right input. Please be correct. Nice. Look at that. Funny how this one took less time than all of that. But to be fair, I have to make 5 shapes again. Look at this spaghetti mess. Good thing I don't care about expandability for this shape. 500,000 shapes is going to take a while. So, guess I'm going over here to speed up time. Look at that. I just got 2 achievements at once. Alright, I'll see in a little bit when that's done. One more shipment should do it. Oh, there we go. Good luck on this one. For 4,000 research credits, I get 5,000 from just one level. Also, yeah, I really should have started that MAM early because this is at level 29 and it only needs 15,000 shapes. Meanwhile, this is level 13 and it needs 70,000. Well, claim that. And with that, that's going to be the end of this episode. I didn't get that much done, but then again, this took forever. In the future, if I feel like it, I can come back and do these tasks. I probably won't though, just because they're kind of pointless. So in the next episode, which will be the last one, I can do this milestone and then finally be done with this insane scenario. So look forward to that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do everything. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.